Brahmana, but they came to the position of Kshatriya.
Yes.
Yeah, for maybe for some special region or for some special case, they come to the position of Kshatriya. But generally we see that people, they go to upper level. That means if someone is Kshatriya, then he tries to go to Brahmana. In what, for what reason they come to this position, and they minimize their position. And one more thing, Maharaj, in the case of Raja Ben, we see that at that time the Brahmanas, they didn't take the position, or they didn't wish to take the position of Kshatriya, and they were trying to get such a Kshatriya who can rule the king. For that, they were trying. So, can you can you elaborate on this point, Maharaj?
Yes, thank you. I think we already we already spoke about it. Now we'll speak more. For Raj Bena, the saintly persons and the great sages, they didn't take his position. They didn't take his position. Instead, they thought it would be good for him, so they win a throne. But when he misbehaved, and you will also remember that of all the historical kings who have ruled, the only one person who ascended the throne without austerity is King Bena. He was not qualified. Therefore, he misbehaved and destroyed himself. Still, the sages, they didn't also try to take the position. For the fact that they are not up to the standard. They are not up to the standard, and they are not ready to do the austerity Bishop Mitrimuni did to transcend his birth in one lifetime. They were not ready for that austerity, so they didn't do it. For Parasurama, it is not a fall down, and Dronacharya is not a fall down. It is a perfection of their own life. It is a perfection, not a fall down. They didn't become degraded by acting as a Kshatriya. They didn't become degraded. They were promoted. So they had a double life because of the quality of the austerities. And moreover, it is an individual thing. But those who want to rise to that platform, they can do it. Bishop he did because he wanted that. Want to become a Brahman in one lifetime, he did. He got promoted. But Parashurama, he is an incarnation of Krishna, so he didn't need anything else. So he did both. It's the qualification that matters. So those who are qualified for it, they can do that. In the same way, a pure devotee coming from Uttam to Madhyam to preach, not a fall down. That is not a fall down. It is a service. Does it make sense? All right.
I think it is like Harishchandra Maharaj also had come down to a level of a Chandal. So from a Kshatriya, elevated Kshatriya, he had come down to it because he was probably also, equally, qualified. But
Who?
still he came down to a level of a Chandal. Harishchandra.
Harishchandra.
Yeah, when he basically came to a level of a Chandal when he was burning the bodies. He was a king, a Kshatriya king, and he was likewise.
His case is different. That is a different thing. You're not on the same level. All right. Text 21. The symptoms of a Brahmana are control of the mind, control of the senses, perform austerity, penance, cleanliness, satisfaction, forgiveness, simplicity, knowledge, mercy, truthfulness, and complete surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada said, the ultimate aim is achyuta matvam, to think always of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. To make advancement in Krishna consciousness, one has to become a Brahmana with the above mentioned symptoms. Why is that? Why is it compulsory to become a Brahmana?
Because Maharaj, Brahminical qualities are favorable to Krishna consciousness.
Okay, we have so many Brahmanas around the world who are not devotees, are not taken to Krishna consciousness.
Maharaj, Vaishnava means one should be like above the platform of Brahmana. At least Brahmana to like has to be.
And proper say here, to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. To make advancement in Krishna consciousness, one has to become a Brahmana with the above mentioned symptoms. That's the point I'm saying. Why is it necessary to become Brahmana?
To bring them in the platform of Satoguna, then only.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Because at the level of Satoguna only, the knowledge happens.
Yes, very good. Yes. Yeah. This is not a discrimination. This is a qualification. This is qualification, not a discrimination. So, yes, a Brahmana, look at the qualities. Look at the qualities. You will see very, very clearly. If we are very careful, you will see that. Many of us have been promoted to platform of Brahmana, but does it mean we really have the qualities? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We have been promoted, we have been given a chance now to develop the qualities. Therefore, for anyone to start thinking that I'm a Vaishnava and I'm a Brahmana, it is wrong. Eligibility does not equate capability. It doesn't. So now we have been given chance to develop these qualities by rigid practice. By rigid practice. Yes, the same hand disciple.
Maharaj, we are in Krishna Consciousness Society. We are practicing devotional activities to come to the level of Brahmana level according to these bars.
Yes.
Control the mind, control the senses, austerity and penance and cleanliness. But I have seen from my experience, some devotee that are initiated, if he goes to saloon with devotee dress, cleaning shape, I can come to the temple taking darshan the Lord and eating prasadam with devotee association. Is that cleanliness?
Dirtiness. That is dirty. That is dirtiness.
Yes. But how one can come to that level if we do not follow this simple cleanliness, socha? Because because you are Maharaj, you are our teacher. We are learning from you. That's why, for my understanding, I'm asking question to you.
Yes, you are
You
free
are
to
also.
ask. You are free to ask.
Prabhupada also our eminent guru, but you are also good in the line of disciple taxation. For clear understanding, I'm asking this question. I'm not writing message in that chat box.
No.
For my understanding, because what I have seen, just I'm sharing with you my experience and also become clear.
Yes.
Particular subject. So how we can deal with such people, although they are initiated, Brahman initiated, but according to the Guna, they are number one Muchi, not Shuchi.
Yes.
How we can keep distance and how we can communicate with such person and deal with such person.
The best thing to do is that we should Chatur Varanya Maya Sritam Guna Karma Vibhaga Saha. According to our gunas, according to our activity, the mode which control source, we know who is who. So by seeing someone who has gone to salon with his dhoti or with his sari, doing the hair, coming back and sit down and taking prasadam, you will understand this is Sudra. That should be clear. It is not we who are calling them Sudra. It is the activities that qualify anyone to be whatever we are. It's our activities. A Brahmana cannot do like that. That's why I gave an example that we have been given the Brahmanical trade initiation. That does not mean that now we are Brahmanas. Now we have been given a chance to raise our standard to that platform by rigid practice. This is what I said before. I saw in Vrindavan, in Vrindavan, a initiated Brahmana with is on top of a bicycle, and the chanting Gayatri is paddling bicycle and is doing Gayatri on top of a bicycle. That's Brahmana. And he's on bicycle. He's riding bicycle in the street. And he's doing Gayatri on top of bicycle. How is that Brahmana? It is not. In the Gayatri book, one should not chant Gayatri on a running vehicle. But this one is a bicycle, which is more uncomfortable, and you're doing Gayatri. At least if you are sitting in the car, you are not driving, you're not paddling, so that is different. But this is a case, he is the one riding the bicycle, but he is doing Gayatri mantra at the same time. This I saw in Vrindavan. You cannot say this is Brahmana.
If one journey by train or flight, in that case, what should do?
That is a different. That's a different thing. Okay. That's a different thing.
Okay.
You are sitting, and we have to do it. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. You will miss it. When I first read it, I tried it. It was very difficult. So I do it every time, either on the vehicle or not. See, I'm not driving, I'm not riding, so I can do it peacefully. Because our things are due to time, place, and circumstances. But on bicycle, that is not a favorable circumstances to do it. There's no excuse. You're going to the house. How many minutes would it take you to go to the house? It's in Vrindavan, not that you're going to Mathura, you're going to Delhi. It's in Vrindavan. You get there in a few minutes. You're on bicycle. There's no traffic on bicycle. You can say rickshaw, but not bicycle. These are wrong. These are wrong. They are wrong. This is dirtiness to do that. One should go directly to bathroom and take a bath after shaving.
Thank you, Morris.
Yes. Last year I participated. I participated when a boy doing a face haircut. Just participation. I have to go and take a bath before I go for Jagya. But this one is this one is a person directly doing that. It's dirtiness. This is dirtiness. We shouldn't do it. We should not do it. It is wrong. It may look simple, but it has heavy consequences in our progress in Christian consciousness. Cleanliness, very important. It's a godly quality, not ordinary quality. It's a godly quality. To be clean, inside and outside. Okay, let's continue. To be influential in battle. This is Kshatriya. Unconquerable, patient, challenging, and charitable. To control the bodily necessities. To be forgiving. To be attached to the Brahminical culture and nature. And to be always jolly and truthful. These are the symptoms of the Kshatriya. Being always devoted to the demigods, the spiritual master, and the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, endeavoring for advancement in religious principles, economic development, and sense gratification, Dharma, Artha, Kam, believing in the word of the spiritual master and scripture, and always endeavoring with expertise in earning money. These are the symptoms of a Vaishya. So many qualities. Always devoted to the demigods. This is one. Devoted to the spiritual master and to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. 3 qualities. Endeavoring for advancement in religious principle. 4. Economic development and sense gratification. 5. Believing in the word of the spiritual master. 6. And the scripture. 7. And always endeavoring with expertise in earning money. 7 qualities. These are the symptoms of the Vaishya. For Shudra, offering obeisances to the higher sections of society, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. This is one quality. Being always very clean. See, we mentioned before. Is here. Shudra are clean. Shudras are truthful. Being free from duplicity. Serving one's master. Performing sacrifices without uttering mantras. Not stealing. Always speaking the truth. And giving all protection to the cows and Brahmanas. These are the symptoms of the Shudra. Mahaprabhu, Kripa Prabhu.
Maharaj. Maharaj, as far as this Vaishyas are concerned, it mentioned that they should be devoted to the demigod.
Yes.
That is one. Number 2, it talks about sense gratification. So this is number 2. I have not understood these 2. And number 3, as far as Kshatriyas, it talks about be forgiving.
Yes.
So these 3 points, I need your help, Maharaj.
Yes. The Vaishya devoted to demigod. We're not talking about devotees. They're not devotees. These are general principles for people who are not devotees. And then, yes, for sense gratification. Yes, sense gratification is allowed in the scripture. When we say karmi means one who gratifies the senses based on the scripture. They get promotion. One who gratifies the senses outside the scripture is condemned. No promotion. But if one gratifies the senses based on the scripture, there is promotion. You get purified. That's why the scripture recommend prescribed duties. It is compulsory. Prescribed duty is compulsory. Because of purification. When the prescribed duty is performed according to the instructions of the Vedas, there is purification, and that purification will help us to develop knowledge to become detached. And then the Kshatriya, which one? Forgiving. Yes, to be
Yes,
forgiving. A Kshatriya is to be forgiving. Yes, it's an exalted quality. It's an exalted quality. To be a Kshatriya is a able Kshatriya. You don't see this with Yudhishthira Maharaj. It's always there with Yudhishthira Maharaj. You don't see it with Pritam Maharaj. Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Pritam Maharaj will not punish anyone if he is not guilty, and he will punish even his own son if he is guilty. That's Pritam Maharaj. So straightforward, so forgiving. Yudhishthira Maharaj have been driven to the forest, and then Duryodhana was very disturbed in mind. This is Mahabharata. So Karna asked him, why are you not happy? He said, how can I be happy when I'm not going to see how Pandavas are suffering in the forest? I'll be happy if I can go and see them, they are suffering. Then I'll be happy. That's the way demons do. So Karna said, okay, don't worry, I will play the game. So he went to this restaurant and said, the prince wants to enjoy, but you will not allow him. The restaurant said, no, don't go to the forest. The Pandavas said, no, we will never go to the direction where the Pandavas are. We will go to a different direction. Never. Just give us permission to go. That's all. So the restaurant said, okay, you can go. They went straight to where the Pandavas are because that was the intention. And there was a Gandharva who was there. So when he saw them, he knew that Duryodhana is coming to come and laugh at the Pandavas suffering. So he fought them and arrested Duryodhana. Duryodhana was crying helplessly. Yudhishthira Maharaj had it. So he told Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev, our brother is in trouble, let us go and help him. Bhim was very angry. Why? Why should we go there? What is our concern with that? Yudhishthira Maharaj said, he's our brother. Bhim was very angry. He said so many things. But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, he's our brother. Let's go and help him. After a while, he was able to convince them, and they went. The Gandharva said, I have no problem with you. This man has come here to laugh at you. That's why I punish him. So he said, brother, I want him. So he should go. They release him. Forgive him. Kshatriya forbidden. Although they have power, but they also forgive when necessary. When they see someone not to be punished, they will not punish the person. It makes sense?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay.
It really helps. Maharaj, I just wanted to understand from, Kali standpoint of view, there was a person, a king by the name of Muhammad of Gori. He had attacked the Somnath temple, which is in Gujarat, and he had attacked 13 times, and he had broken it and looted and taken everything. Prithviraj Chauhan was basically there, and Prithviraj Chauhan basically defeated him 12 times. And he forgave him 12 times, let him go. And 13th time, again he was attacked, and Prithviraj Chauhan lost this time. And then he was killed by Muhammad of Gori from Afghanistan. So this forgiveness, he must have learned through in his Gurukul that Kshatriya he should forgive. Ultimately, that resulted in him, losing his life and resulting in a huge loss for the whole kingdom. In present times, I was just trying to understand, in present
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay all the time, not always sometimes. It is okay to forgive. But and to forgive somebody who is attacking, it, 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 it doesn't mean that I want to be foolish to allow yourself to be killed by somebody because I forgive him. That is a different thing. Forgiveness is not foolishness. It's a good quality. It's a wonderful quality. Prabhupada has mentioned in one purport that if a devotee is very kind, very merciful, but if an enemy is attacking seriously, we should defend. At that point, we have the right to kill the person. That's defense. It's authorized. All right, Krishna. So, look at the wonderful qualities of Sudra. Offering obeisance to the highest citizens of society, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. Being always very clean, being free from duplicity. Yeah. Not stealing. Should not steal. Serving one's master, performing sacrifice without uttering mantras. Not stealing, always speaking the truth and giving all protection to the cows and Brahmanas. These are the symptoms of Sudra. Prabhupada gave nice purport also. Unless one is completely pure and has been raised to the standard of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya. In other words, unless one is Dvija, twice born, the chanting of mantra will not be fruitful. Text 25. To render service to the husband. Very wonderful. Very, very wonderful. To be always favorably disposed towards the husband. Two qualities. To be equally well disposed towards the husband's relatives and friends. 3. And to follow the vows of the husband. 4. These are the 4 principles to be followed by women described as chaste. When there are no fight between husband and wife, the goddess of fortune automatically comes to the home. A woman's education should be conducted along the lines indicated in this verse. The basic principle for a chaste woman is to be always favorably disposed towards her husband. Bhagavad Gita 140, it is said, Stri su dusta su harshneya jayate varna sankara. If the women are polluted, there will be Varna Sankara population. In modern times, the Varna Sankara are the hippies who do not follow any regulative principle injunctions. Another explanation is that when the population is Varna Sankara, no one can know who is on what platform. The Varnashram system scientifically divides society into 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams. But in Varna Sankara society, there are no such distinctions, and no one can know who is who. In such a society, no one can distinguish between the Brahmana, Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and Sudra. For peace and happiness in the material world, the Varnashram institution must be introduced. The symptoms of one's activities must be defined, and one must be educated accordingly. Then spiritual advancement will automatically possible. We're going to hear more about this. Yeah. We'll continue. A chaste woman must dress nicely and decorate herself with golden ornaments for the pleasure of her husband. Always wearing clean and attractive garments. She should sweep and clean the household with water and other liquids so that the entire house is always pure and clean. She should collect the household paraphernalia and keep the house always aromatic with incense and flowers and must be ready to execute the desires of her husband, being modest and truthful, controlling her senses and speaking in sweet words. A chaste woman should engage in the service of her husband with love, according to time and circumstances. Continued. A chaste woman should not be greedy, but satisfied in all circumstances. She must be very expert in handling household affairs and should be fully conversant with religious principles. She should speak pleasingly and truthfully, and should be very careful and always clean and pure. Thus, a chaste woman should engage with affection in the service of a husband who is not fallen. That is the point. The husband who is not fallen. And Prophet has given a very elaborate purport. According to the injunction of Jagyawalkya, an authority on religious principles, Asudhe Sampratikshyo Hi Mahapataka Dushita. One is considered contaminated by the reactions of greed of a great sinful activities when one has not been purified according to the method of the Dasavidha Samskara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Jai Bajje Sei Bada Abhakta Hina Chara. Anyone who is a devotee is sinless. It is recommended, therefore, that a chaste wife not associate with a fallen husband. A fallen husband is one who is addicted to the four principles of sinful activity, namely illicit sex, meditating, gambling, and intoxication. Specifically, if one is not a soul surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is understood to be contaminated. Thus, a chaste woman is advised not to agree to serve such a husband. It is not that a chaste woman should be like a slave, while her husband is Naradama, the lowest of men. Although the duties of a woman are different from those of a man, a chaste woman is not meant to serve a fallen husband. If her husband is fallen, it is recommended that she give up his association. Giving up the association of her husband does not mean, however, that the woman should marry again and thus indulge in prostitution. If a chaste woman unfortunately marries a husband who is fallen, she should live separately from him. Similarly, a husband can separate himself from a woman who is not chaste according to the description of the Shastra. The conclusion is that the husband should be a pure Vaishnava and that the woman should be a chaste wife with all the symptoms described in this regard. Then, both of them will be happy and make spiritual progress in Krishna consciousness. Everything is here. The woman who engages in the service of her husband, following strictly in the footsteps of the goddess of fortune, surely returns home, back to Godhead, with her devoted husband, and lives very happily in the Vaikuntha planet. Sumati, Visakha Devi.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, generally, here it is written in purport that if husband is fallen, then the wife should live separately from him.
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj. But what in general case we hear or we find that a woman should never abandon her husband in any cost, even if he is a drunkard or means like most sinful person. Her duty is live and serve him. But today, in this line, it is clearly mentioned that in such case, she should abandon. Like in my preaching section also, some Matajis are following everything, and they are very like beaten by her husband, and means the husband is not devotee, but still I advise them to live with them and to cooperate. So what should be the advice then?
The advice should be what Prabhupada is saying.
Yes, Maharaj, but at the same time, it is mentioned that she should be always under the shelter of her husband after she get married. There is no concept of divorce or living separately.
Yeah, separate here does not mean they are divorced. They live separate doesn't mean divorce. It means that they live in the same place, but they are not relating as husband and wife. That's what it means. And actually, our movement is supposed to give protection to people like this. And to be the woman is very inauspicious, very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Prithu Maharaj said, a man should never raise hand on a woman. Anywhere, should never beat a woman, never. Any community, any environment where a woman is beaten, that place cannot be auspicious. It's only inauspiciousness, and the duration of life with that person is reduced. One insult a chaste woman, one beat a chaste woman, automatically the person is going to die before his time. That is sure, that is certain. It's very inauspicious. So they should live separate. Separate means they may live in the same house, maybe in the same building.
But Maharaj, if it is said practically, then how it is possible that they are living in same house and she is not serving her husband, and is it possible, Maharaj?
The best thing is that is why Varnasam is necessary. Have a community. The best thing is for them to move to the devotee community, where all the facilities are there to take care of devotees and give them chance to practice nicely without all these things. The best solution, have a community to protect devotees. We are moving behind. We are moving behind because we are not having proper vision. We don't have the vision of our acharyas. We are moving behind. But we should have this vision to give protection to devotees. It is hellish to beat a woman, to insult a woman, to neglect a woman. It's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
But Maharaj, it is also very difficult that husband and wife, they have two children. Due to children, they can become separated, but everything fighting taking place. And due to not same mentality fighting taking place and physically torture each other. So how one can overcome this situation?
Better for us to be devotees. We should become devotees so that we'll be able to understand each other. Why am I marrying this woman? Why this woman is marrying me? All these things should be clearly defined right from the beginning before you enter into marriage. So we made a very big mistake from the beginning. When the Manusha is given to Rakshasa, it's incompatible. They will fight because they don't have the same taste. They don't have the same character. The taste and character. The two things are most important things. This should be considered. Properly explained this, I'm sure you remember in Canto 3, chapter 15, text 25, if I remember. Canto
Yes, Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter
24. Yeah, 24,
chapter
15.
24 and verse
15.
Verse number 15. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Probably is talking about all these things. Governance sometimes is compulsory, character and taste is compulsory. This is how we should base these things. They are very, very important. Then we can save all these unnecessary problems that are there. To beat a woman is very dangerous. Very dangerous. It should not be done. See, Lord Shiva didn't do that. Lord Shiva beat his wife through the word. Oh, daughter of Daksha. Not physical beating. Very dangerous. All right.
That morning, Lord Shiva, he informed Parvati, please don't go to your father's place. So Parvati did not listen her.
Yes.
Listen him.
Yes.
That's why he also she given up her life because her father insulted Lord Shiva.
Yeah, Lord Shiva, the Shiva actually beat her with words, not physical. Lord Shiva called her daughter of Daksha. That's an insult. So he couldn't take it. So she they say we should use word. We should follow our chariots, not a physical beating. It's very, very dangerous. Okay, among the mixed classes known as Sankara, those who are not thieves are known as Antevasayi or Chandalas, dog eaters. And they also have their hereditary customs. Among the Antyajas, those who are still somewhat pure in that they do not steal and are not addicted to meat eating, drinking, illicit sex, and gambling are called Antevasayi. Among those of the lower classes, intermarriage and the drinking of wine are allowed. For these people do not recognize such conduct as sinful among themselves. So certain things are allowed according to our mood. Rotten food are allowed to be eaten by Sudra, but not the Brahmana. The Brahmana should not eat rotten food. All the ingredients the Brahmanas use for cooking should be pure, clean. But for Sudra, mlechas, okay, rotten things, okay, they can eat that, no problem. My dear king, Brahmanas well conversant with Vedic knowledge have given their verdict that in every age, yuga, the conduct of different sections of people according to their material modes of nature is auspicious both in this life and after death. So Prabhupada continue to explain. The Antyajas, the men of the lower classes, are accustomed to stealing, drinking, and illicit sex, but that is not considered sinful. For example, if a tiger kills a man, this is not sinful, but if a man kills another man, this is considered sinful, and the killer is hanged. This is about the consciousness. This is due to consciousness. What is a daily affair among the animals is a sinful act in human society. Thus, according to the symptoms of higher and lower sections of society, there are different varieties of occupational duties, according to the expert in Vedic knowledge. These duties are prescribed in terms of the age concerned. If one acts in his profession according to his position in the mode of nature and gradually gives up these activities, he attains the niskam stage, as we were explaining before. Prescribed duties, if you perform a prescribed duty, you get promotion, because get promotion. Why? It's allowed by scripture. When we do something which is outside the scripture, then we implicate it in activity. So we will not get promotion. But prescribed duty gradually elevates to a higher platform that will be able to do something which will lead us to devotional service and to pure devotional service and to go back to Godhead. 33, 34. My dear king, if an agricultural field is cultivated again and again It's example. The power of its production decreases, and whatever seed are sown there are lost. Just as drops of ghee on a fire never extinguish the fire, but a flood of ghee will. Similarly, overindulgence in lusty desires mitigates such desires entirely. It's done. Yes. If one continuously sprinkles drops of ghee on a fire, the fire will not be extinguished. But if one suddenly put a lump of ghee on a fire, the fire may possibly be extinguished entirely. Similarly, those who are too sinful and have thus been born in the lower classes are allowed to enjoy sinful activities fully. For those, there is a chance that this activity will become distasteful to them, and they will get the opportunity to be purified. 35. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. Sundara Nimai Prabhu.
Maharaj, this I have doubt in this 34, 33, 34, where like Narad Muni is telling that if we overindulge in fulfilling lusty desire, it will mitigate the desire sometimes. This is looking like little contradictory to what we hear. This analogy itself is looking little contradictory to what we hear. Generally, if we try to satisfy the senses, then it will only increase the hankering. But how is it? It is told here that it will completely
that excuse me, that is for higher class of people. But the greater people, if they continue to do, they will get purified. they will develop a distaste. This thing is not helping me. Let me stop it. They have a concession with degraded people, not for higher people, not for Brahmana, not for Kshatriyas, not for Vaishyas.
But Maharaj, like it is like a temporary phase. Like when somebody overindulges, it's like sometimes he feels distasteful, but after some time again he will that somebody is very hungry, he eat too much of food, then he will feel like I'll not eat so much. But after again some time, then he will feel hungry again, he will eat. It's only a temporary phase. It's like completely becoming distasteful. It is not a permanent phase.
Yes, but it will help to. In a lower species, it will help to raise them to the human platform, where one will now understand it by knowledge and try to have a discipline, and then completely give it up. Yes. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. Here it is clearly stated by Narada Muni that one should not be accepted as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra according to birth. For although this is going on now, it is not accepted by the Shastras. Chaturvaranyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasaha. Thus the four divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, are to be ascertained according to qualities and activities, not by birth. By birth, one cannot become a lawyer by birth. One cannot become a doctor by birth. So one cannot become a Brahmana by birth. If one's father is a lawyer, he cannot become a lawyer because the father is a lawyer. No, you have to go to law school to become qualified. The same way, you have to go to medical college to become a doctor. Yes. Those, the four divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, are to be ascertained according to qualities and activities. If one was born in a Brahmana family and has acquired the Brahminical qualification, he is to be accepted as a Brahmana. Otherwise, he should be considered a Brahma Bandhu. The same with others, regardless of the community in which one was born. If one develops the qualities of a Brahmana, he should be accepted as a Brahmana, and he then may be offered the order of sannyas, unless one is qualified in terms of the Brahminical symptoms. One cannot take sannyas. This is understanding. This understanding is very important. Here in Narada Muni distinctly says that one may be accepted according to the caste as birth, if he has the corresponding qualifications. But otherwise, he should not. This is the end of chapter 11. Now is chapter 12. The perfect society for spiritual classes. Text 1 to 5. Narada Muni gave the general duties of brahmachari, living with the guru. A general duty. Shri Narada Uvacha Brahmachari Guru Kule Ubasan Bhantu Guru Hitam Acharanda Savan Nichot Guru Sutridaso Hridam. Narad Muni said, a student should practice completely controlling his senses. Is one qualification. Practice controlling senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship with the spiritual master. 3 qualities. With a great vow, he should take a great vow. The brahmachari should live at the Gurukula only for the benefit of the Guru. Govinda De Prabhu.
I'm just reverting to the previous chapter, that is in the purport of the last verse. So Prabhupada has explained that if one develops the quality of a Brahman, he should be accepted as a Brahman, and he then may be offered the order of sannyas.
Yes.
So the Brahman still remains under the modes of material nature. Brahman is not free from the material nature.
Yes.
If one does not elevate to the stage of Vaishnava, he does not qualify to take sannyas. This is for Varnasrama institution, or in so far as our Daivi Varnasrama is concerned, this is equally applicable to this Daivi Varnasrama ashram as enunciated by Srila Prabhupada. How can you illuminate?
Yes. Brahmana should be in the mode of goodness, but not all of us are in the mode of goodness. In a Vedic culture, one takes sannyas at the age of 75. So you have 25 years as a sannyasi. Now you be a Paramahamsa. But this time is not like that. For the fact that there's no guarantee many will live up to 100. And even one live up to 100, one is useless, cannot do anything. Therefore, as Prahlad Maharaj recommended from the beginning, you should start the practice. And the next chapter, in this next chapter 12, Srila Narada Muni recommended that one does not have to go from Brahmacharya to Grihastha to Vanaprastha to Sannyas. One can jump from Brahmachari to Sannyas. The training is required. It is not necessarily that all of sannyasis have transcended the mood. But actually that is how it's supposed to be. It should transcend the mood. And we can act properly. So if the mode is not transcended, we will not be able to act properly. Like I mentioned before, even as a Brahmana, we have been given the chance to rise. Not that we have become qualified, we have been given the chance to rise, to make it. So now is the time for us to put effort, sufficient effort, so that our acharyas will complement and make us suitable for their mercy. That is the mood we should maintain. So Prabhupada is correct when he said the Brahmana, then he becomes sannyas. And then he may be offered the order of sannyas. It means what? He has been trained. Unless one is qualified in terms of Brahmanical symptoms, we mentioned before, that's why we're talking about why Brahmana is necessary, because you need the qualifications to act properly. Yes. Unless one is qualified in terms of the Brahmanical symptoms, one cannot take sannyas. Sannyas is a high level, very high level, the head of the society. So we need the potency to be able to do that. We want the potency to carry the whole world along to Godhead. Yes, that is sannyas. Carry the whole world. So all the qualifications are necessary. Of course, we have been given the chance to do this. We have to qualify for it. By rigid practice, we are repeating the same thing, rigid practice. Does it make sense?
As far as furthering clarifications, what I'm going to communicate is that is it required that every devotee must be a sannyasi, or because so far as my experience is involved, I had come across the devotee who is now the president of an ISKCON temple. He is refusing to be sannyas because he is very much comfortable with his services. He has very good associations with the Grihasthas, and he is also very fabulously preaching Krishna consciousness in different parts of our state. So he is refusing to be sannyas, whereas all his contemporaries, they are limited to the stage of sannyas. How can we appreciate this idea in case of a devotee?
Okay. In the preface of letter of instruction, Srila Prabhupada said all ISKCON devotees should be Goswamis. All. That is his aim. All of us.
All ISKCON
yes,
all ISKCON devotees are?
Should become Goswamis.
Okay.
That's his recommendation to Prabhupada. Letter of instruction preface. All. We should become Goswamis. Becoming Goswami is One may take the dress, may not take the dress, but our consciousness should be a Goswami. Like he said in Bhagavad Gita 18:11. 18:11. Prabhupada says something. So Prabhupada said in the purport, there are many members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. So, the Prabhu who refused to accept sannyas because of his service, if his consciousness is like this, not about the position but because of the service, that's fine. The same thing we saw with Pankaj Jagri Prabhu and Jananivas. They didn't take sannyas because they have dedicated their life to Radha Madhava, and they didn't want to take sannyas and live there. So they're fixed there. So if their consciousness is fixed with the Lord, that is all right. Prabhupada wanted all of us to become sannyasis. That is his interest. All.
Jananyas Prabhu did not accept sannyas.
Yes, because he want to serve Radha Madhava and Asastakis. So that's why he didn't accept. And they are fixed in their service. If the consciousness corresponds with activity, it is fine. If the consciousness does not correspond, then there is a problem. Then it will be attachment to position, not service. All right?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much for your so much potential explanation. If still doubt survives in mind, means it is not exigent. It is not necessary for everyone to be sannyas if services are not suitable for him. Is it clear?
Yes. It is necessary. I mentioned many times, Prabhupada said all of us should become Goswamis. That's the fact. All. We should become Goswamis. We should become sannyasis. According to the scripture, one should not remain a householder till death. We should give up at a certain stage and take to sannyas. So, if our consciousness is fixed on the service, I don't want to take. It's okay. But we also have a Setra sannyasis. We have Setra sannyasis. So one can still take and remain there. It don't necessarily one has to go. So there could be other reasons which are not clear, which are not very clear. Otherwise, one should take sannyas and still do the service. You can travel and come back and do your service. It doesn't stop you from doing the service you're supposed to do. So it is compulsory to take sannyas. There could be other things that is in the mind which are not said, which are not said. Otherwise, it is compulsory. It's necessary to take. Necessary. Maybe some fear is there or some other things. Is it clear?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a burden.
Yes?
It is a burden.
Huh?
Sensual burden.
Anyone understand?
Prabhuji, what you are asking? Admin Prabhuji, what you are asking? Have you any question? No, Maharaj, he has no question.
Okay, I think we have come to this point. You can take a break and we'll continue from tomorrow. Hare Krishna.